everybody. Having my morning coffee. Looks like this is, this would have been 2 days ago. 2 days ago. Today's Tuesday, Friday. The final testimony at the federal court. For the final call of witnesses, I believe. So anyway, let's get to it. Former Properties of the Village's sales representative testified that the atmosphere in the powerful sales arm of Florida's friendliest hometown changed after developer Gary Morse died. Annette Elliott, who sold pre-owned homes for Sun Central Realty before it was merged into Property of the Villages in 2004, testified Friday afternoon in a bench trial before Judge James Moody, federal court in Tampa. She was the final witness for the defense in a case in which she and KD Premier Realty founders Christopher Day and Jason Krantz are being sued along with fellow former Properties of the Villages representative Angie Taylor and Angela Krantz. Elliott broke down in tears as she remembered Morse, father of Jennifer Parr, vice president of sales in the Villages. Parr sat in the courtroom and silently watched as Elliott offered her testimony. Parr was allowed into the courtroom on the final day of the trial. After it became clear she was not going to take the stand again, she was the star witness on the first day of the trial. Morris died October 29, 2014 at age 77 and is largely credited with catapulting his father's mobile home park at Orange Blossom Gardens in Lady Lake into the premier retirement destination renamed The Villages. I thought the world of him, said Elliott, who sold real estate in New Hampshire before moving to the Villages. Mr. Morse was a wonderful man. She finally remembered being a guest in his home and receiving a special ring in commemoration of a year in which she sold 40 homes. As the Villages grew and grew, the pressure on the sales force intensified, particularly after the decision was made to cross State Road 44, something Morse publicly had vowed would not happen. Angela Krantz, wife of Jason Krantz, in 2017 attempted to follow her husband's successful footsteps at Property of the Villages. After she completed the intensive 12-week Properties of the Villages training course, she was immediately thrown into the frenzy that erupted. Properties of the Villages began aggressively selling Village of Finney, the first village south of State Road 44. The launch of Finney, which was completely detached from the rest of the villages, was so important that Parr personally greeted prospective homebuyers as they disembarked from the trolleys. She was even there on the weekends. Branson testified she and other sales newbies were ordered to dress in Finney shirts, khaki pants, and don headsets as part of the intense sales push. Krantz said she frequently received email declaring all hands on deck for sales events. She said she interpreted that to mean it was mandatory. The main fact in dispute in the lawsuit is whether the 5 defendants were independent contractors as the Villages maintains or whether they were employees under the supervision and control of their managers. Properties of the Villages attorney John Aloro challenged Krantz's assertion that anything she chose to do as part of the sales force was mandatory. He challenged her to provide one name, someone who required to fulfill a request. She could not come up with a name. However, Jonathan Pallard, attorney for the defendants, rode to the rescue with copies of old emails which appeared to prove Krantz's point. After reading the email in court, she came up with the name. Todd Burns, she said, in reference to the sales team or sales team leader who testified earlier in the week. Krantz also testified she earned $130,000 in her second year as a sales representative at Property of the Villages. Her husband was earning in the $500,000 range. I thought it was important that I was contributing to the family, she said as mother of 4. The number of defendants in the lawsuit was whittled down in the days leading up to the trial. Cynthia Hughes agreed to settle last week, indicating she would pay $5,000 in attorney fees to Property of the Villages. Kelly Shipes, who lost her position as volleyball coach at the Villages Charter School when she defected to KD Premier Realty, settled in a few days later, but does not have to pay anything to the Villages. However, she and Hughes are restricted from selling real estate in the Villages for 18 months. Well, I guess that's it. Sounds like there should have been a little bit more there, but I guess that's it. There is no more. Okay, it sounds like that's the end of the testimony, and now it's just a matter of just waiting and see what happens. If I get any more immediate news on this, I will post it. Whether how long it is or how short it is, I'll post it and keep you informed. But until then, I'll say morning coffee. See you all on the other side.